Look, I know I look different, okay? Y'all, I'm running an errand real quick, okay? Y'all family, so y'all get to see it all. The good, the bad, and the... Well, I'm not going to say the other one because never that. But I wanted to come back on because this is the only time that I really this is the only time I really get to myself, is when I'm in my car and I realize that, as I have been doing YouTube, that my alone time is when I'm in my car. And of course, that's far few in between. But that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to jump back on real quick and just finish what I was talking about in part 1 of the video. So let me just get right to it because I don't have a lot of time. I'm going to be at my destination soon. So what I wanted to do was just give a little bit of information about some of the cryptic pregnancy questions that have been asked. How do you get it? How do you develop a cryptic pregnancy? Like, what are the signs? Like, all right, so just to not drag this on, let me just, like I said, jump right to it. Based on my research, based on talking to women who are cryptically pregnant and have been studying and researching the cause of CP, the information that I received is that, first of all, CP has no gender, race, or it's not a prejudice, I guess, I don't even know what to say, situation or cause. I don't know how to put it, but it's affected. What I'm saying is it has affected women from all races, color, creed, age. It's not a restriction just to a certain age group or race or anything like that. And I'm saying that because I've had many women reach out to me from different nationalities, backgrounds, ages. And so that's one thing that I've learned about having a cryptic pregnancy, is that women of all types have been cryptically pregnant. And so the cause of it, I've heard, and from what I've seen based on my personal research when I looked it up, is that it can come from various things, having some type of pregnancy blocker, like the Depo-Vera, I think that's how you pronounce it, or the Depo, whatever. I don't know if that's a shot, but then when you have some type of implant to prevent pregnancy, you can get it from having PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. Something can be going on with the uterus. You can become cryptically pregnant when you're premenopausal, or if you've undergone any type of fertility. Let's see, what else? If you're underweight, if you're overweight, what else? Those are the main things that come to my mind, but if something else pops up, I'll mention it. But again, that's just what I've seen. I'm sure that there's a whole nother set of reasons why we become cryptically pregnant. This is probably not even scratching the surface, what I just said. There are other women who have studied and done in-depth research on CP and could probably give a whole lot more information than me. But again, like I tell people, this is my journey. This is, what I deal with, what I'm going through, and I'm just sharing. So I'm not, hold on, y'all. I'm not coming on here as an expert, or to say that I have all the information and that everything I'm saying is right or accurate or whatever. I'm just giving you my experience based on the information that I received since going through this. Like I said, so those were just some of the reasons that stood out to me and that I remember. Now, a lot of questions are also asked about how do you know that you are having a cryptic pregnancy. Well, I found out that I was having a cryptic pregnancy because I kept having things happen in my body that just were off. And when I say off, meaning my period in the past when I was younger, meaning in my late 40s, was never late. My cycles were always pretty much on point. And so they started to become irregular. And what I mean was I would go a couple of weeks or, a certain amount of time where my cycle would be late. And I thought maybe it was because at that time I was, my husband and I were trying to get pregnant. So, but then my cycle would end up coming back on again. But as time went on, I started just getting really fatigued, really tired all of the time. And I actually had pregnancy symptoms like, the dizziness, the nausea, the tiredness. But again, I attributed all of that to my age and maybe going into menopause. And like I said, I still kept getting my cycle. So, I didn't know what to make of it, to be honest. I didn't know what to make of it. So, I just kept, paying attention to my body and just monitoring things and, following up with my appointments and stuff like that. And so, as time went on, I noticed that, I started gaining weight. And it wasn't it wasn't rapid weight initially. It was just gradual. But then that changed into gaining weight to where I had to start buying new pants like every 3 weeks. Every 2 or 3 weeks, I had to end up getting either new undergarments or pants or something because I just kept picking up weight. And that was unusual for me. And then I noticed in my clothes that my stomach would be really, really big. But then sometimes it wouldn't be big. It would just, I don't know, it just started, this adjustment in my body just started happening. And so finally, when I was turning 48, my period had been off or late for the longest time it had ever been. And I think maybe a month. I don't know what it was, what the time frame was. But that's when I really started to notice things shifting. So the key was my period it would stop, but then it would come back. And so, I just dealt with that for a while, just all these weird changes in my body. And so finally, I was like, I need to, my doctor ordered an ultrasound. And because I was just kind of still listening to my body and trying to figure out what was going on. So time went by because I just could not figure out what was happening. And so it just got to a point where it was just like, I got to figure this out. Like, something is wrong. And like I said, the reason why I said it is because my stomach kept growing and I kept picking up weight, but all of my tests kept coming back negative and I was still getting my period. So it was like, I couldn't really say I was pregnant because that was going on. But I'm going to tell you what made me know for sure that I was. I started feeling movement and kicks. Like little, not hard kicks, but like flutters and just kind of like little, like taps in my stomach. And so I think I had gotten an ultrasound done before I started feeling the flutters, but my stomach had gotten so much bigger, I was like, something is not right. So finally I got the ultrasound done, and of course, they come back and they say, there's nothing there, there's no baby, you're not pregnant, this, that, and the other. So, me, you can tell me what you want, but I know what I'm feeling. So I ordered my images from my ultrasound. I requested copies, and as soon as I got them back, I saw my baby on the ultrasound. I was like, oh my God. And it was so teeny. I'm gonna try to If I can remember, I'm going to add the clip of the baby, my first baby I saw on the sonogram when it was confirmed, based on my ultrasound, that I was in fact pregnant. And then after that, because I showed my daughter, and I was just like, and she was like, yeah, Mom. She was like, that is, she agreed that she had saw it too. So, as time went on, at this point, I was just trying to figure out, because I don't know, it was just the weirdest thing. So, I had been talking to women who had gone through this before, and just still trying to figure out what was the cause of it, and what did they do in that situation, and why do you still get your period? And I just had a whole slew of questions. So then I started feeling the kicks even more as time went on. I even felt my baby's heartbeat pulsating, at the bottom of my stomach. So that was it for me. I didn't care what the doctor said after that. The only thing I wanted to know was what kind of pregnancy this was, why am I still having my period, and why are my tests normal? Why is why am I getting this negative test? Well, with cryptic pregnancy, it's different for every person, but the majority of women that I've talked to have gone beyond 2 years cryptically pregnant. But that's not to say that is the norm. That just seems to be the case with most cryptic pregnancies. So, alright, so where am I now? So, I started getting answers, basically. And I realized that having a period was pretty normal with cryptic pregnancy. And in fact, the periods can get really, really bad. Because that's what happened to me. Like, I literally felt like I was hemorrhaging. That's how bad my bleed was. And sometimes it's still like that when I do have one. They're farther and few in between now. They're not as frequent as they were before. The longest I've gone without my cycle since being cryptically pregnant was about 4.5 months. And of course, when you're at that stage, you're hoping that your HCG levels are going to change or changing, and your hormones are kind of stabilizing and normalizing when you stop getting your period. But that's not always the case, because I know women who don't get a period, but they still have zero to low HCG hormones. So again, it just depends on the person. And I've known women who have turned normal. Their pregnancy for a long period of time was showing negative tests, and they were still getting their period, and then one day they took a pregnancy test and the test came back positive. So it just depends. And I don't have a complete answer as to all of the internal things that go on in our bodies with this kind of pregnancy. Like, people talk about the uterus being positioned a certain way, and just all kinds of things. Now, what I will say is, in my experience with cryptic pregnancy, I have noticed that most women, I would say about maybe 90% of women with cryptic pregnancies have multiples. When they are pregnant with multiple babies. That has been my experience. And so, yeah, I don't know exactly what that cause is, or why women that have CP have multiples. I don't know. But that has been the case, and a lot of times we don't know that we're having multiples until maybe the babies start getting bigger, because it's been my experience that my babies must have been in a different place or behind one another. So I didn't start seeing that I was having multiples until I kept getting ultrasounds every 3 months or 4 months or whatever, and then I would notice, wait, that's another baby, that's not the same baby, or I could see both of them together. So the more ultrasounds I got, that's when I started noticing that it's more than one baby. And I've always felt like it was internally, but because I had so many different symptoms and so many things going on that I didn't understand. I didn't know what to think, So, because I would feel one baby on one side and then one baby on another side. And so I just had to kind of just go through this every day until I just kind of got answers as answers came to me. Let's see what else. So, to answer the questions about cryptic pregnancy and how you get it, or how women end up with it, like I said, basically those things that I named. And another common question I get is, my doctors don't believe me. They keep saying that I'm not pregnant. They keep saying there's no baby on the ultrasound, and I'm having my period. I'm really sick. Nobody believes me. I'm so sad to say this, but they tell all cryptic pregnancy moms there's no baby. I don't know why this type of pregnancy is such a difficult thing for the medical field. I can't explain it. But they don't want us to even believe that we are pregnant. They don't consider our babies to be babies. And I really don't know why. I don't know if it's because there's some type of malpractice that could probably come about, or maybe the risk of trying to, get into any type of medical or helpful way to help us with this pregnancy would be too much of a risk. I really don't know. That is a mystery to me. But we are constantly told there's no baby, and I don't know because I know the medical field is like science. If it doesn't add up in your blood work and your body is not sending a signal that they can relate to, then I guess they consider it not being a viable pregnancy. I have no idea, because you can come in there and your stomach look like like you got a beach ball in your stomach, and you clearly, visibly look pregnant. And if your blood work comes back negative, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna say it's no baby. Now, the only thing that I experienced that was different outside of that scenario was when my doctor told me, well, if you get a heartbeat, then you have a viable pregnancy. So here's the catch. She put the baby monitor on my stomach and we got the baby's heartbeat. Then she says, well, that's not a baby's heartbeat, that's your heartbeat. Clearly it wasn't. So it's like a lose-lose situation. And so I just said, well, I'm going to record, my baby's heartbeat and do a video to let you see that, you can hear my baby's heartbeat. So then the issue with that is, well, we need to go ahead and we need to see if we can get a heartbeat here, Yeah, y'all, it's a whole lot with that. So everybody's experiences has been different. Like I said, this is my experience. So it's like no matter how you try to, prove yourself or, to talk to the doctor to convince them of what you're going through, it's like they shun you, And so to all of you all who are experiencing the doctors telling you have a tumor, that you have fibroids, that you have some kind of muscular issue, if you honestly believe in your heart that you are carrying a child, then you listen to your body. If the doctor's request for you, and I tell people this all the time, when I comment to their question, if the doctors are suggesting that you have any type of DNC or any type of procedure where they have to go into your vaginal area and do any type of procedure, my recommendation is not to do it. You can do what you want, but my recommendation would be not to, because I believe that that's a way of them trying to get rid of the baby. Again, that's my opinion. That's, you like I said, you can do whatever you feel is best, but yeah, That was a no-go for me. Um, what else? How do I get, people to believe me? People think I'm crazy. My family, they don't believe me. My boyfriend, my husband, my whoever. And, so that's hard because the last thing you want is for somebody to doubt you or think that you're being untruthful about this pregnancy. It hurts. But let me just say this, y'all. This pregnancy is not normal. It is not normal. And I know that our family should support us and love us and trust the things that we say. But at the end of the day, you can't make somebody believe you. And it's sad to say, because you would think that people that know you would know that you wouldn't be lying about something like this, that you wouldn't, just that you wouldn't be untruthful about something like that. And not only that, they can look at your body after a certain period of time and see all of the changes in your body and clearly see over a certain amount of time that a baby bump is there. Now, they may even say, make sure it's not this, or make sure it's not that, or maybe it's this, or maybe it's that. But you have to understand, it's hard for a person that's not going through this to wrap their head around something this complicated. So to their defense, it is something hard to believe. I've had people at one point saying, be in agreement with me that I was in fact pregnant, and then now they say, what's going on in your body? How are things going on in your body? They won't even say how's the pregnancy. They say now, how are things going on in your body? Because it's been a long period of time. It's an ongoing thing, and people don't want to be held accountable for saying something that they're not 100% sure is true. So I get it. I'm not offended, because as long as I know what's happening with me, I don't need that validation from anybody else. So you have to get to a point where you have to accept that people are not going to believe you. And I've heard stories where the person, the guy, boyfriend, fiance, or whatever, left. The relationship ended. I've heard stories where family members have separated because they don't believe us, and there's all kinds of turmoil and fighting and arguing, and it's hard, guys. It's hard, and really, I don't know. You just have to, either people are with you or they're not. And if they're not with you, then you have to make a conscious decision to be at peace with that. Know your truth, and you need to find ways to deal with it so that you're not stressed out about it. It is difficult because you're not getting answers from doctors. You're going through a lot in your body, and it's uncomfortable. And then you got a family who won't support you. That is very hard. But at the end of the day, you got to remember this: what's inside of you is your responsibility. What's inside of you is a gift from God, because children are a blessing from the Lord. Not necessarily the act or the way that it came about, but the child, his or herself, is a blessing from God. And I'm not, encouraging anybody to do anything outside of the will of God. But at the end of the day, if the situation is what it is, then you be a responsible person. And, hey, do I want to do this now? That's probably a bad move. Oh, Lord. Yeah, I'm going to wait. I'm sorry, I'm talking to myself. I was going to go to this ATM machine, but it is so crowded, and people are everywhere, and I can't move fast, so I'm going to make a U-turn. I'm sorry, guys. So, yeah. I could do that. I'll do that on the way back. Yeah, so you just have to take it in stride. You got to leave it in God's hand, and you got to pray and ask God to give you strength. It's a lot with this pregnancy, because now, here's the other thing. I've heard other women say, if you're critically pregnant, use protection if you decide to have sex, because you can still get pregnant with a normal pregnancy on top of your cryptic pregnancy. So in other words, you're cryptically pregnant, which means your baby is growing at a slow rate. Cryptic pregnancy babies hide in between your organs, like behind your liver, and between your liver and your back, under your kidneys. I don't know why these babies implant that way, but they do. So, with that being said, if you are sexually active and you have sex, you can have a normal pregnancy, birth that baby, and still be cryptically pregnant. I don't know, but that's what has happened to some women. They've actually had a baby and still, whether it's by cesarean or whether it was vaginally, have had a baby, and then they're still cryptically pregnant with the baby that hasn't been born yet. So that has not been my experience. I'm not saying that it is not true. I'm just saying that with this pregnancy, I believe that is possible. Now, somebody else may say, y'all crazy, delusional, whatever, what they always call us, like I said, which is fine with me. But who am I to say that wasn't somebody else's experience? Who am I to say that? Who am I to say that's a lie, that's not true, that's impossible? I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say, well, maybe that was their experience. And I can relate to that because I'm cryptically pregnant. So it's definitely a situation that I believe is possible. Now, I haven't experienced it, but I'm not going to shun somebody that has or call them crazy or whatever, because that's something that they have experienced. So, what's some of the other questions? How long does this pregnancy last? Well, it just depends again on the person, because I've heard that women who have been pregnant for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, it just depends on the person. The pregnancy can go for a long time, or like I said, the pregnancy can turn normal, and you can get a positive pregnancy test. What else? A lot of people ask me if I know the gender of my babies. Like, do you know what you're having? Do you know when the baby is due? Well, you can't, unless you can see the gender on your ultrasound. I guess then you can know what you're having. Like, if you have a boy and you see his penis sticking up or whatever like that, or if you have a girl and her legs are open and you can tell by the ultrasound what your gender is, I would say yeah. But for me, I don't know. I can't tell based on my sonogram and ultrasound what I'm having. And typically when you get a positive test, I guess they'll look thoroughly and really, really closely at your baby if you get a positive pregnancy test, because then to them whatever they're seeing is a baby. Whereas you can see the same image, but if the pregnancy test is negative, then it's a tumor. I mean, it's just the craziest thing. I've seen women who have gotten a positive pregnancy test with the due date and seen a picture of their sonogram, and their sonograms and a picture of their babies look just like ours. My cousin is pregnant, and she's having a boy, and the same image of her baby, that it looks exactly like our ultrasounds. The only difference is that she got a positive pregnancy test, and her baby is probably in a closer position where they can see the baby more clearly. And that's the only difference I can think of. But her image of her baby looks just like ours. Just like it. But anyway, guys, I don't know. So as far as how long you're pregnant, it just depends on the person. I've known a person that's been pregnant 8 years, 9 years. And when you get that long into your pregnancy, you already know somebody gonna try to put you, or say you belong in a loony bin, because they already have had, we've already had people tell us that we're delusional because we've been pregnant 2 and 3 and 4 years, and they come on, oh, you can't be pregnant that long, there's no such thing, this, that, and the third. I had a comment, and I tell you, I don't like cowards, y'all. I don't like a coward. So this, whoever, I'm sure was a female, this broad came on my page and made a comment. I guess she was trying to call herself being sarcastic. It was one of my, I forgot what video it was on, and I think she said something about, yeah, my doctor can see my baby, and my baby is 4 years old, or something condescending. Now here's the thing, with your comment, I guess you can put it up so that nobody else can respond to it. You can make the comment, but when you go to respond to the comment, you're not able to do that. And then when you click on the person's profile to try to see who they are so that you can block them or whatever you want to do, you're unable to do that. So you can either mute them or delete the comment. My thing is, if you're bad enough and bold enough to come on my page to make a comment, stay there for the rebuttal. Stay there and take it just like you dished it out. Don't make a comment and then make it so nobody can respond to what you have to say. You're a coward. So I think they can still see my videos because I was unable to block that person. I'm sure it's a way I could, but I wasn't trying to figure all that out because it wasn't that serious to me. But for those who have left, negative comments and not allow me to respond, then why comment? Why comment if you don't want to hear what I have to say? You're a coward, and I'm gonna just say it the way it is. Because if you have something to say, let me reply to it if I choose to. And for anybody that comes on here that watches, my videos and don't understand the whole totality of cryptic pregnancy, I would advise you to come humbly. I would advise you that if you have something that you want to say or a question that you need to ask, then you ask respectfully. Because if you don't, believe me, my clapback is strong, and I'm going to dismiss you, and I'm going to let you know you're not going to have nonsense on my page. I don't care what you believe. I don't care what you think. I don't care how you feel. I didn't ask for your opinion. This is my journey. This is my page. I choose to give the information out about my pregnancy. I choose to spread awareness about cryptic pregnancy. I'm not asking for your approval. If you got a problem with it, stay off my page. And I say this in a lot of my videos because, one, I'm not intimidated by a comment. I'm not intimidated by your thought. And you're not going to come on my page trying to make people feel some type of way because you're ignorant to what we have going on in our bodies. And I'm going to protect the women who are going through this because we're going through enough as it is. So, ladies, I will be a mouthpiece for those who really don't have not even the confidence, but who don't even want to deal with it. I'll deal with it. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Now, again, I'm not a nasty, mean person or anything. I'm not going to cuss nobody out. I'm not going to use vulgarity. I'm not going to dishonor God in any way. I'm going to try my best. But I am going to let you know what you will not do. Okay, now that you had a moment to think about that, I'm going to go on to the next thing. All right, so a lot of people have decided that they don't want to go to the doctor anymore because every time they do, it's kind of like a waste of time because we still don't get the answers. We still get told that we're crazy and there's no baby, and it's very discouraging because I have to go to the doctor in seasons or phases. I have to be mentally prepared to go to the doctor. I do. I'm sorry. I feel like I just got stuff all in my eye. I have to be mentally prepared because it's a setback mentally when you keep going and you got to keep going through the same thing over and over and over and over again. And so now a lot of us, we don't even mention CP. When we go, We're just going because we missed our period. We feel some movement. And, we just kind of, minimize, not our pregnancy, not minimize. That's the wrong choice of word. I don't want to say it because I would never minimize my situation. But what we do is that we don't go into all of the details about the history of our situation, because that's like shooting ourselves in the foot, because we're already prejudged when we tell our truth. So we go in there like any other woman with the same pregnancy symptoms. Hey, I missed my period, I haven't had it since this time, or, I feel, pregnancy symptoms, whatever we say. But we know how to deal with our situation better than anyone else. So when I first started going to doctors, telling my story, and they're like, and I'm stubborn, right? And I'm not going to let you make me think that something is wrong with me. So I'm very persistent. Very persistent. And when I feel like I'm being handled a certain way, yeah, sometimes I have to take a step back, because I don't want to be disrespectful, because I honor God and I represent Christ. So I don't want to be disrespectful. But I'm human. And sometimes my human tendencies can get in the way. But I'm also born again, and the Spirit of God lives in me. So I don't have to return to that way of being. So I have to mentally and spiritually have to prepare myself for my doctor's visits. So I would probably say that I go, but maybe once every 4 or 5 months. Unless I feel there's something going on and I need to be seen right away. Okay, so I'm trying to think, is there any other questions that I'm missing? Now, what I will suggest is that you go back to some of my videos. I'll try to put some of my videos that I recommend on the end of these videos. All you can do, so that all you have to do is click on it. I'm still learning how to do some stuff, but I think I figured out, because I did it on one of my other videos. The videos that did, like I did a video, a Q&A for cryptic pregnancy, and I think I was able to attach that to the end of one of my other videos that I just did, so that all you have to do is just click on it and go right to the video. But I'm going to try to do these recaps every so often, because I get women are coming out of the woodworks with this kind of pregnancy. Hey, I think I'm experiencing this kind of pregnancy, then they're explaining their situation and asking me what I think and this, that, and the other. And I don't mind, because that's why I'm doing this. So they send me the pictures of their bellies just to ask my opinion about what they think. And, and what I try to do is tell people to listen to their body. If you honestly believe that, based on what you've heard me say and what I'm going through is the same thing you're going through, and sometimes I can tell right away whether a woman is actually, in fact, cryptically pregnant. I can tell right away. And I always say, listen to your body. You got to give CP time, because it creeps up on you. And sometimes the symptoms can be there. So, yeah. All right, y'all, I got to get ready to get off of here, because I think I'm reaching my limit. I need to get some stuff off my phone. But I'm going to get off of here. I may do a part 3, but I just wanted to get in as much information as I could, because I know with the way that my body is, sometimes I'm not able to get on here as often as I was before. So comment below if you have any questions, concerns. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Share this video. Get these videos out there. Keep advocating for yourself. Keep taking care of yourself. Keep listening to your body. Take care of your babies. Trust God in all things. Make Jesus Christ your Lord and Savior. Give all of your problems, situations, concerns, and cares to the Lord. Okay, love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.